guys, it's Tony Gattari here with another amazing business video vitamin. Really what I wanted to share with you today is just some ideas about what I've learned about teams and managing performance. Because I'm a firm business junkie. I'm a firm believer that we need to create performance-driven cultures. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't mistake movement for achievement. A lot of people are busy doing what? So really, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to share you some ideas about how to actually create performance in organizations, in yourself, in teams, in order to really activate results, because it's always about activation. A lot of people say it's about ideas. I choose to disagree with that. I've seen some very, very poor people with some great ideas, and where they falter is on activation and empowerment, getting others to actually do the work that needs to be done. So I just want to give you a couple of ideas. It's called What Gets. What gets talked about gets done. So if you want to improve your sales of your team, talk about sales. If you want to improve your marketing, talk about marketing. Make sure it's a focus of your organization. Make sure you have regular meetings called sales meetings, and make sure you talk about sales. And don't do this. Don't get so busy that you forget about the foundations of those meetings, because those meetings are there to ensure that those things that are critical to the business get talked about. Number two, what train gets done. Now, I'm a trainer. And a lot of people say to me, Tony, we're not going to train our people because our people leave. And what happens if we spend all this money on your training and they leave? That's not the point. The point is, what happens if you don't train them and they stay? That is tragedy. And what I do know is that training is the discipline of building their muscle, not yours. And training is not a quick fix. Over time, if you are consistent with your training through a combination of adult learning techniques, including role-playing, including scenarios, including questioning, you will see a profound result, because you are building muscle and you are tearing that muscle and you are equipping your team to be the best that they can be. Number 3 principle is what gets measured gets done. In all my experience, if you want to build a great business, if you want to build great marketing, if you want to build great sales, you've got to measure it. You know, I love marketing. And a lot of people say, oh, you're a guru of marketing. I'm not a guru of marketing. I'm a dingbat. Really, I am. Because I'll tell you something about marketing, right? I don't know what's going to work. I really don't. But here's what I do know. I have to be able to measure to determine its effectiveness. Because you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know what super insanity is? Doing the same thing and not even knowing what result you're getting. And that's what a lot of people do in marketing. They continue to do the stuff they've always done because someone hollers and says, we've always done it this way. That is not a good statement. The right statement is, why do we do it this way, and what result are we getting? You should measure everything by the fruits. What else do I know about business? What gets budgeted gets done. I think it's really important that if you actually want to grow your business, that you don't just measure sales against last year, which is really important. But I would add 2 more variables. I would certainly put a budget. I would put a sales budget, an expense budget, a profit budget. But not only a budget, I would also introduce a target. A target is a super stretch. And I think it's really important to compare results against last year, against budget, and against targets. What else do I know about is what gets applauded gets done. Oh, yes. You got to praise people. You know, when there's a victory, celebrate the victory. Run around the office. Give people a high five. Tell them how good they are. Give them $100 notes in front of their face saying, I just wanted to tell you what a fantastic job you're doing, if it's genuine. Please applaud people, because I believe that deep down we have a great sense and need for appreciation. Appreciate the value of people, and people will rise to the expectations of what you say about them. They always have, and they always will. The other thing is what gets rewarded gets done. I'm talking about performance-driven teams here. And I'm talking about the ultimate radio station we all listen to. And it's not, Triple M or Today FM if you're in Sydney. It's really not. It's the universal radio station that travels across every network in every country of the world. It's on the internet. It's on TV. It's the language of communication. It's the language of salespersonship. It's the language of marketing. It's the language of persuasion. The radio station you all probably know is called WIIFM. It means what's in it for me. And if you want to create an amazing team, make sure you reward people on the behaviours that are actually going to help to grow your business. Because I'm not a fan of flat salaries, especially in the sales profession. Because I actually believe that flat salaries equals flat performance. And if you want to get the best out of your people, give them a reason, a real reason for them, not for you, for them, of how their change in behaviour is going to bless them. And show them that. And be generous initially. Change them. And in that changing, they go, wow, that was so easy. And guess what they do? They continue to do it again and again and again. And the last one, and this is really important because I initially felt that I didn't have to reprimand people. I originally felt that being a persuader and a sales director and a marketing director, all I really had to do was reward them. I'm wrong. Based on my philosophy now of many years in business, you actually need to correct people also. You need to have the carrot and the stick operating. You need to ensure that when things are not going well, you tell your team that they're not going well. Okay, and you need to make sure that you correct people by loving the, there's an old saying, you gotta love the sinner, but you gotta hate the sin. And make sure that when you correct people, you don't destroy their personality. You correct their behaviour. And when you correct people, please correct them quickly. Because, I've got 2 children, and I probably haven't been the greatest father, and thank God for my wife. But I do remember that when you raise children, one of the worst things you can do to a child is correct them after the event has occurred. Just imagine you've got a child and they're 4 years old and they do something like they paint the walls because they've got some water paints. Now, if you're a really good parent, you correct that behaviour as soon as you see it. But just imagine you actually didn't correct them then and there. And you actually fixed up the paint and you painted it again, and then 4 weeks go by and you finally correct them. They don't take it as correction. They take it as victimization. So be very, very careful that when you reprimand people, that you reprimand them on their behaviour and you do it quickly when the event is evident. So that's it, guys. Until next time, have an amazing week.